David Baye here from MuscularDevelopment.com. I am in Toronto here with Cleopatra for the 2004 and Titone for the 2014 Toronto Pro SuperShow. And big win in Dallas. Admittedly, though, you weren't at 100%. Still good enough to win, though. And with as many victories as you have in the IFBB, I don't think anybody was surprised that being a little bit off, you were still able to pull out the win. Coming in here to Toronto, definitely better than you were at Dallas, feeling a lot closer to 100%. But if we go back to Dallas, I know there were some people who had some questions. Talk to us a little bit about, some of the things that led up to Dallas. Your decision to enter it kind of last minute, and the things that you were dealing with in preparation for that show.
Well, like a few weeks before Pittsburgh, actually, I was feeling very fatigued. I was having a hard time getting my heart rate up when I was doing my cardio. Felt like I was killing myself when it was only at 95. My legs felt heavy, my arms felt heavy. I just really felt horrible and very fatigued. I went to the doctor, had blood work, I had an EKG, stress test, the whole 9 yards, and it all wound up being fine. And so I think that I actually had to admit to myself that I was actually exhausted, and I needed
just overdoing it.
That was it. I just Jack and I promote a few shows in the Midwest, and after I did the Arnold, and then we had our St. Louis Pro show, and then getting ready to start competing again for my season, while again trying to help him promote Omaha, which is next week.
And working a full-time job.
And I am a wife too. So I think got all caught up to me.
Jack, pretty high maintenance.
Yeah, because he doesn't eat like me. I can't just throw chicken in a bowl for him.
He's right there.
I actually cook for him, so he actually eats food. I think my body just said, okay, you don't want to listen to me, then I'm going to make you listen. And it knocked my feet out from underneath me. And then we did go to Pittsburgh because Hydrolyze Ultra was a sponsor of the Pittsburgh Pro. And George Farah, who I work with, was there, and he looked at me, and I had my heart set on doing Dallas. And I said, go ahead and can you look at me and tell me if you think I can do it? I was starting to feel a little bit better. And he did. He said, it'll be hard, but, we'll pull it off. And so I put 110% into it. And you're right, I was not 100%. I wasn't Titone, and I think I probably caught a little flack from a few people about that. And it's to be expected. I understand that people aren't used to seeing you off your game when you come in at a consistency that I do. But you're right, I'm 100% here.
Ready to roll. I think people take for granted sometimes when they look at the athletes, they just think here's a professional athlete whose job it is to get ready for a show and be their best on stage. But, they don't always see all the things you're doing. And like you said, working a job, promoting shows, and doing all these other things. And sometimes when you add in contest prep, it can be a lot. At Dallas, one of the things that it gets talked about a lot is a lot of times in bodybuilding, and you see this with some of the competitors who come in consistently in really good shape, sometimes you get judged against the best version of yourself and not necessarily against the rest of the class.
Exactly
so even in coming in off, if you're off and you're still better than everybody else, sometimes people just focus on the fact that you're off a little bit when, bodybuilding and figure and all these events should just be judged off who's the best that day, regardless of whether it's, your best version. It's just who you're competing against. As far as between Dallas and Toronto, any major changes or anything, or just kind of sticking with the game plan?
No, I worked with George going into the Arnold, and he kind of got to know my body a little bit. And, we set up a game plan, and it wasn't anything drastic of changes. My training really wasn't any different. I just went in, with a clear mind, and I feel like my body, I took some time and I relaxed. I rested for a while, and I feel like my body recuperated. It was almost like an overnight thing for me, that just automatically I felt better. And I'm big on your mind being so powerful. And as much as I was telling myself when I was sick, I'm not sick, my mind was not agreeing to that.
Kind of knew you were.
But then just all of a sudden one day I was like, you know what, I feel better. I feel like I can really put 100% into the rest of the prep for Dallas and bring the best that I can at that point. And I feel like I did.
Now, looking forward, obviously your favorite going into the show tomorrow. Is there anything else in the works as far as you from a competitive standpoint, or is Toronto going to be a wrap before the Olympia?
I think I'm going to wrap it up here and enjoy my summer with my husband and my family. We've got a few shows that we're attending through the summer, and then again with Omaha. And
tell us a little bit about the Omaha Pro coming up next weekend and some of the other things you got going on.
Yeah, we've got Omaha next weekend, and it's pro bikini. Pro physique, pro men's physique, and pro women's bodybuilding. Okay. And that's next week in Omaha, Nebraska. And then in August we have pro bikini, so that's back in St. Louis, so that's right around the corner. July, I have a birthday, which is, the most important day of the year.
21?
Of course, and holding forever. And, and then through the month of June, he's judging a few shows, and I would like to go and just be there, just enjoy be on the other side of it,
Well, that's good, and I think everybody needs that a little bit of downtime when you have that much going on. So, speaking of downtime, we'll probably wrap this up, and I'll probably make fun of your dress a little bit more before the end of the night. No, it's a beautiful dress. I like it. You said Jack picked it out, right?
Jack picks out all of my clothes. Admittedly, I do not dress myself. Jack buys my clothes. He buys my jewelry. He does everything. Does
he ever come home with some stuff where you just got to shake your head and say no and say bring it back, or is it always just usually do a pretty solid job?
Yeah, this one. I mean, he brought it home, and I'm like, I'm not wearing an Egyptian on my dress. He's like, no, it looks good, I promise. I'm like, whatever.
No, but you can pull it off. I don't think I could pull it off.
Well, I don't know if it looked better on him though, because he tried it on first, and it really did look good.
He tried this dress on, and it
got
fit.
over one toe.
Oh, got it up over one leg, and that was it. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna let Ann get going here, catch some rest before the big day tomorrow. Follow us with MD. Prejudging, I think, starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So we're gonna have all the updates and obviously the live play-by-play as always. So again, we're gonna wrap it up. This is David Baye with Titone from Toronto for the 2014 IFBB Toronto Pro SuperShow.